Hollyweird strikes again. Yes, Hollyweird strikes again. In the film that's just recently came out, Knock at the Cabin. A Knock at the Cabin. Hollyweird strikes again. I am Super Solican. This is The Awakening. I'm going to get into this message quickly. I've already spoken in previous videos about how Hollyweird works. They understand the truth of God. They understand occult things. They understand the history of the earth. They have access to certain things you may not be privy to. You know, they can go out and actually they go out and get a lot more books, and they can get people to go do research to grab information that you may not have enough time, or you just may not be familiar with. Hollyweird, just like a lot of companies and people in power, people who have a lot of money, people who meet at these occult things like Bohemian Grove, they have these meetings. They're aware that there's God and Satan that exist on this earth. They're aware of the existence of the good and evil forces on this planet, which means the God and his angelic beings, and you have the devil and his demons. You understand? And the gifts, they're very, very aware of the gifts that they can give on earth. Do you understand? Satan has dominion here. God allows it. You know, this is God's goodness. This is his fairness. He's allowing that. You know, that's whatever him and the devil got going on. But Satan can give you things. Oh, yes. And his demonic beings, they're running amok on the earth. Oh, yes. They're doing things. Satan sent to them. They tampering with people. Where you think people get these ideas? They think it's coming from them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even remember their dreams. They're being implanted subconsciously through the devil is giving them thought subconsciously in their dreams. No one knows where idea and thought emerges from. It's abstract. In the Bible, we know that God, his thoughts, he created the earth with a thought. He spoke, and then he said, let there be light. First, he thought it, he spoke it, it happened. We're a part of God's imagination and thought. God's imagination is living. So we have no idea. We bring our thoughts to life in a lesser degree. We're creators in a lesser sense. We are our Father's sons and daughters. So Hollyweird has taken they know this Bible that I have here. They know this backwards and forwards. You better believe it. They know the Agrippa. They know the hidden or ancient texts. They know a lot. They know the occult writings. They know the devil's Bible. They know everything. They know that. They do their research to do these movies. But in the film here, A Knock at the Cabin is what it's called. Knock at the Cabin. This film it's based upon around two gay men and their adopted Asian daughter. That's what this movie is, the characters that this movie is centered around. And you have Dave Bautista, who plays like he's the one who's like the main villain, you could say, of the movie. They come to the cabin, to the gay couple's cabin, and they tell them that if you don't make a choice to kill one of your family members, that the whole world is going to end. You understand? And these people came there, Dave Bautista and the group of people he came with, came there off of visions. They were having revelations and visions. Again, I just told you, those actual dreams and revelation and thought comes from God. But they're having visions that the world is going to end. They family members is going to die. All the children, men, women, and children in the world is going to die if this family doesn't make the choice to basically sacrifice one of their own, sacrifice their love, you know, for the everyone else to live. You know, you could take a lot of people. I'm not stupid. I have discernment. You could take a lot of things from where they're going with this. Now, this is based off of a book. This is based off of a book by another person. So you can this is really a thought from their mind. M. Night Shyamalan just brought it to life with a little twist here and there. But even in that book, it was the same theme. It was pretty much the same story. So the theme is, what you saying is, we know that there's truth to the fact that, we know God is against homosexuality and things of that nature. But yet and still, people still doing it on the earth. God is allowing people to do what they, to live out their sinful nature and do whatever they want to do on this earth. God gives people free will. You understand? We're not here as human beings to police that. But people are able to do that. God hasn't destroyed them. Sure, there's been things that's came upon the earth, plagues. You you reap what you sow. The Bible says that men gonna take the error in their body. They're gonna error in their sexuality, and they're gonna take up the riccopus in their body on from the error that they've made sexually. Like basically that's where the diseases and all that stuff come from. That's what the Bible is teaching. And I'm paraphrasing there. But yeah, so there is truth to some, to what this movie is alluding to. But God has never given anyone an ultimatum. You got to kill somebody. You got to kill your family member or kill this person over here so these people can live. That was such a cruel placement on like an individual. Like that's like more weight than ever on an individual. You know what I'm saying? God destroyed the whole world at one point in time because the world had became wicked. You understand? If God had found one person, another, like besides Noah and his family, he wouldn't have, he would have took them too. God gave everybody a fair chance. In this movie, one of the gay guys started seeing the visions that they were seeing. He started basically going along with them. You understand? He was seeing the same things. And I'm going to give you this. Let me give you some scripture. This is in the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 34. We're going to start there, and then I'm going to go back again and read it again. It says, that night, 2 men will be asleep in the same room, and one will be taken away, the other left. 2 women will be working together at household tasks. One will be taken, the other left. So it'll be with men working side by side in the fields. So it'll be with men working side by side in the fields. It says, Lord, where will they be taken? The disciples asked. Jesus replied, where the body is, the vultures gather. So let me go ahead and back it up for you. Now I'm going to start in the book of Luke, chapter 17, and this is going to be at verse 26. When I return, the world will be as indifferent to the things of God as people were in Noah's day. They ate and drank and married, everything just as usual, right up into the day when Noah went into the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. And the world will be as it was in the days of Lot. People went about their daily business, eating and drinking, buying and selling, farming and building, into the morning that Lot left Sodom, and fire and brimstone rained down from heaven and destroyed them all. Yes, it will be business as usual right up until the hour of my return. Those away from home that day must not return to pack. Those in the fields must not return to town. Remember what happened to Lot's wife. That's what Jesus is telling you. Basically, when you start doing this walk of life with God, don't turn backwards. Don't go back to the world. You understand? Because you see what happened to Lot's wife. All right. And it said, remember what happens to Lot's wife. Whoever clings to his life shall lose it. Whoever loses his life shall save it. That night, 2 men will be asleep in the same room, and one will be taken away, the other left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill. one taken and the other left. This is how it's gonna be. In the last days, you're gonna have people in the end times. God just told you in the Bible. He just told you. I gave you gave you chapter and verse. He told you that there's gonna be one left and another taken. See, you have people who are homosexual who are Christians as well. They actually claim that they believe in the Lord. They say that out of their mouth. I'm not gonna say that they're lying. They confess out of their mouth that they believe in Jesus Christ. You understand? They're gonna have a different level. They're judged accordingly to what they know. Everyone's judged according to what they know. You understand? So there's gonna be some people who are taken at the end, and then some who are left behind. You understand? Now, as far as this movie is concerned, God's not gonna be. There's nowhere in the Bible where God is gonna say that He's gonna ask you to execute one of your family members. See, people do that anyway. People have done that but people will do that to their family for being Christians. Like, you've had people who've sold out their family members as Christians. I mean, they sold out their Christian family members to the authorities and things like that. Now, you've had that, but God, our leader, has never mandated that we have to lift a finger and do anything to harm anyone. That's not our job. You understand? Even in the film, Dave Bautista, like the villain, they couldn't kill the people. They couldn't make the choice for them. They couldn't kill the people themselves, but they held them hostage basically and was trying to make them kill each other. See, again, this is just Hollywood playing on trying to play with God and playing with the things of God. Because if you look at it, like, again, where were they getting why are you trying to include God in your things? We know that Hollywood is satanic, but you want to use the stories and try to so what was causing all of this natural disaster? Who was giving you all these visions? They try to make it seem like this was just from nowhere. You understand? They don't really mention they don't really just mention God much in this, the Christian God of the Bible, which is where all of these things are written and where this stuff comes from. So again, if you don't have discernment, it's something that you really won't. You'll just look at it as being something trivial. You'll look at it as being small. But me personally, I write scripts. I'm into stories. I have discernment, so I understand what they're doing. The more you have more and more LGBT representation in film these days, and the more and more you get that, the more and more you're gonna start seeing things be contrary to God. Like, really, these movies are trying to, you're seeing God being portrayed as the enemy. You don't see too many good movies or just Christian, godly, good themed, good hearted, good spirited films. You see a lot of times, when you see movies, the villain in the movie for them is God. They coming out with they got a lot of films like this, apocalyptic films and things like that. You even have films where the figure that is God, they try to have people think that they could fight against it. You understand? That's what Satan has you believe in. Satan is teaching that. It's Hollywood is teaching you that. You understand? Teaching you to go against the living God. Teaching you to live in a contrary lifestyle to God. These people in this film was willing to just go out and live. It's basically saying, screw you, God. I'm gay and I'm just going to live my life. Forget it. I know you're going to send me to hell. I know the whole world is doomed, but screw it. Party. That's a stupid mindset, a foolish mindset. You teaching a futile mindset. This movie was weird, is all I could say. It was weird and pointless. It was a pointless film. I mean, the book was good enough. You had, if you just wanted to deal with that, but the film itself was pointless. Dave Bautista did a good job. Salute to him. He's a great actor. But the whole film, like I said, it was disgusting to me. The whole film was disgusting on how what they tried to portray in that whole story. And again, the God of the Bible, we all know that this isn't your enemy. We know you have a true enemy. And the true enemy is the one who keeping you fooled into thinking, you living just keeping you fooled and thinking your sinful lifestyle is actually the best lifestyle for you to live. You staying fooled, man. You're not living your best life. God, you can only do that with the Holy Spirit, with the help of the Holy Spirit, giving you discernment and training you in the ways of the Lord daily. You meditating in the things and the goodness and having the traits of Christ himself. You have to have those traits: meekness, humbleness, long suffering. Those things get taught. Like, those are home skills. Everything ain't all about you and what you want. Selfish me mindset. These people were willing to tank the whole world: kids, women, children, dogs, everything, just so they can keep they homosexual relationship. You understand? Like, that's the problem. that's the really, that's the telling thing about the mental illness and spiritual illness of homosexuality, man. It's a over loving of self. You burning in lust so much so you in love with yourself. Like, you in love with your own image. Like, niggas in love with whole grown men is is having sexual relationships, and that's not pure love. You understand? That's anything but pure love. And that's what the movie thing tried to fake. See, they tried to sell you that dream that God chose that family because they had a pure love. Bullshit. Pardon my French. Look, I'm sorry. That's a lie from the pits of hell. Do you understand? You cannot tell me that a sexual relationship between two men is pure love. No, the pure love is the relationship that Jonathan had with David. That's pure love, because there's no sexual transaction going on there. Or one person don't want to get, ain't none of this foolishness. I'm not I'm attracted to the person, so that's why we doing. No, none of that was going on with David and Jonathan. You understand? That's a pure love. A pure love is the love that Christ got for the church, for his people. Christ ain't looking for you to toss him a little booty on the side or give him a little old kiss. You know what I'm saying? Doing some foolishness, burning in the lust for, for the same sex. That's an impure love. And that's what the Bible teaches. That's improper. You understand? You've corrupted love at that point. You're going against things that God has ordained. You're going against God's true nature that of human being. You're going against the true nature and design that God has for human beings. You're doing that. I don't want to hear nothing. You're making the decision because you can go love that person purely. I would have saw that better if, they were brothers. They could have made the story better if they were brothers taking care of this little girl, and that was one of the brother's sons. That could have been a pure, like, why wouldn't God go attack something like that? Oh, that was the purest love that he could find? Like, that's stupid. That's you just trying to this is a LGBT, a low-key LGBT movie. This is an LGBT-centric movie, and that's what Hollywood is going to push. They try to tuck it. They're going to tuck it and sell it to you in a lot and rolled up in a nice little bowl every time and keep trying to tuck you that and keep trying to sell you that pill. I mean, keep trying to force that pill to you in a different disguise every time. But it's going to be little by little. And this is how the devil works. He gives you a little bit into your mind, a little bit into your subconscious, a little bit here. He'll look and see how he can maneuver. Then a little bit here, then a little bit here. You understand? And then eventually, before you know it, you'll see this stuff everywhere. Like the movies or have more, like the LGBT stuff in the films will become more and more norm. The thing is, people just don't want to see that. It just is what it is. It makes people don't want to just see flat out LGBT movies. It makes them uncomfortable because it's in their spirit. Most people aren't like that. You understand? So they watch stuff they can relate to. But again, it's not a knock for you to have LGBT actors or whatever and things like that. We get it. That's in the world. That's gonna happen. And but this film here, I just didn't like this. First of all, we didn't need it, but I just didn't like the way that they tried the story here and the way that they tried to portray the being that they consider to be God, that they call God. You understand? This was some flipped on the back end, storyline. It was definitely weird. That's all I can continue to say. For lack of a better term, this movie was weird. But I always want to end with Bible verse. I'm going to give you some more. We're going to go in Romans chapter 1, verse 20. I'm going to start at 25. No matter of fact, let's start at Romans chapter 1, verse 24. So God let them go ahead into every sort of sex sin and do whatever they wanted to. That's what's going on today. God's not stopping you. Do you understand? Listen, it says, so God let them go ahead into every sort of sex sin. He ain't stopping you. He's allowing you to do that. And you take whatever comes with it. If you know when the Lord come back and he's saying, look, man, I never knew you. He telling you so-called Christians, homosexual Christians, I never knew you. Depart from me, and you got to go enter into the pits of hell. You looking at every movie that you've seen. I told you Hollywood got ideas. Look at the all the depictions of hell. When he's saying that it's time to go there, just go ahead and just be like, all right, cool. That's just like these people in the book. They accepted what was gonna happen. They didn't make no decision, so they continue to live they homosexual lifestyle as two gay men, and at the expense of the whole world getting destroyed. Do you see what I'm saying here? Does that equate? So what are you gonna get out of that? But so God let them, and this is still Romans chapter 1, verse 24. God let them go ahead into every sort of sex sin and do whatever they wanted to. Yes, vile and sinful things with each other's bodies. Instead of believing what they knew was the truth about God, they deliberately chose to believe lies. So they prayed to the things that God made, but wouldn't obey the blessed God that made these things. That is why God let go of them. He let them do all the evil things so that their women turned against the natural plan for them and indulged in sex sin with each other. And the men, instead of having normal sex relations with women, burned with lust for each other. Men doing shameful things with other men, and as a result, getting paid within their own souls the penalty they so richly deserved. See, this is why I love the Lord. This is why I love the scriptures. He brings out the truth. Again, he not stopping you. But you got to understand that he ain't with it. And at the end, you're going to get, it's not that God has to destroy you or, have somebody like Dave Bautista come and hold you hostage. No, it said that as a result of you doing those wicked things and living that sinful lifestyle, burning in your lust for other men and women, burning in their lust for other women, you're going to get paid within your own soul the penalty that you deserve. That's not me saying this. This is thus saith the Lord. With that being said, I am Super Solican. This is The Awakening. Peace and blessings to the hearers and doers. I'm gone.